3, a YouTube short story by Abigail Levy. The pattering of rain on a rooftop woke me up from my slumber. My eyes frantically searched our small bedroom for a minute before finally settling down when I realized that it was only rain. My gaze then averted to the bed I was lying in. Somewhat like a fetus, my little brother lied beside me with his knees close to his chest. I watched him as he slept, his soft breathing, music to my ears. My other sibling, my sister, who was my senior by 2 years, was already awake. She sat on the edge of the bed in unwavering silence. I tapped her shoulder gently with the intention of snapping her out of whatever trance she was in. The silent girl sighed and let out a groan of annoyance. Her shoulder clenched under my fingertips. "What?" my sister snapped. She didn't turn to face me. I decided to take no heed. She was definitely stressed by the current happenings around us, and I didn't blame her. We were all stressed. "Are you okay, Maria?" I inquired. The girl's expression softened into a small smile, but the smile disappeared as quickly as it came. Her lips quivered, holding back the sobs threatening to escape her mouth. I noticed the dried tear marks on her rosy cheeks. "Have you been crying?" The girl, Maria, tried to open her mouth to respond, but the bedroom door slammed open with a thud, snapping the sleeping boy beside me awake. A woman walked into the room, eyes as grave as a general's. I recognized her as Valerie, my aunt. "Your parents want to have a word with you," she addressed all of us. She left as abruptly as she entered. Maria and I looked at each other in confusion. What did our parents want to talk to us about? I could only think about Valerie's serious expression and tone. This conversation seemed to be of great importance. I helped my little brother out of the bed, holding onto him tightly. Then, while holding his hand, I escorted my brother to the main room of our small cottage. Maria followed closely behind. Upon entering the room, we saw our parents being preoccupied with their usual duties. My mother, a short, tan-skinned woman with auburn hair, that which Maria inherited, was attending to the dishes in the tiny kitchen. She sang a lyricless melody under her breath while she worked. Her petticoats swayed as she danced in tune to the tempo of the song and the timing of her scrubs. The kitchen was really a tiny half room attached to the main room by means of a doorway. It could barely hold 2 people. Father was actually here in the main room, putting extra firewood in the fireplace. His shoulder-length brown hair, his brown hair genetics was passed down to my brothers, was tied neatly into a low ponytail. He was donned in his typical colored shirt and trousers and dirt-covered black boots. We waited silently while he worked. I noticed that he had placed 2 buckets on the floor. Since rain was currently falling, their sole purpose was to collect the rainwater that was leaking from 2 holes in the ceiling. It wasn't long until he acknowledged our presence in the room. He turned to the kitchen and motioned Mother into the main room. She obeyed and sat down in a chair with womanly grace. He motioned her to sit as well. We did. Valerie joined us after a few minutes. Father cleared his throat and began. "Now that we are all here, there is something that we need to discuss." There was an empty silence to the point that I could see the visible anticipation on our faces and hear the rain outside a sham of a house. Valerie and Maria shared a questioning look with each other. Valerie shrugged as she shook her head. He continued, "How are you coping?" The question was directed at Maria. The young woman looked up at father. Her lips were quivering again ever so slightly. Her red eyes glittered in the dim early morning light. The tears had returned, this time seemingly running down her face at a faster pace. That was her answer to his question. Father could only sigh. That one small action was him releasing all the burdens and frustration and depression into the air caused by the general current events for the past 8 years. We all felt this way. Those 8 years have been particularly hard on this household and perhaps the other households scattered throughout the colony. Maria's demeanor was just adding fuel to that already flaming fire. Of course you're not coping well. No one is. He glanced at me and I swallowed my own spit. Willow? I tried to, I responded. My answer was generic and mechanical. It reminded me of Maria's personality before all of this. From the corner of my eye, I saw Valerie roll her eyes. Oh, get on with it, she scoffed. We don't have all day. My father glared at his impatient sister and her brassness. I, on the other hand, mentally cursed my annoying aunt. All she had to do was wait a couple seconds. Father recommenced. They won. The rain howled and wailed on our rooftops. My mother, my siblings, and Valerie sat like paralyzed birds, staring at him with nothing to say. My mouth dropped open as I processed what he just said. They won. No one had to guess who they were. We had tolerated their existence for 8 years, and even before that, he was of course talking about those rebels, the parade of rowdy farmers and peasants pretending to be an organized army, fools funded by French bipartisan aristocrats. The Americans? Valerie asked, knowing very well that it was them father spoke of. I reckoned that she asked for the sake of reminding me and my siblings of who they were. There was no need for that, however. Unlike what she thought, we were not idiots. We may have been children, but we were not ignorant fools. How? Mother spoke for the first time since he entered the room. Father swallowed before continuing. I don't know. They somehow outnumbered the British at Yorktown, and there was a surrender. All of the air seemed to suck out of the room. My throat was dry and felt as coarse as the sands of the Sahara Desert. They have won. This was a tragedy for all of us. We had supported the British in this war, and they lost. I couldn't imagine what was going to happen to us. The rebels were going to form their own country like they always intended. Where would that leave us? Probably chased out and persecuted. After so much resources Britain put in this war, Mother piped up. After many soldiers fought and died, after our own son fought, the tension in the room grew to new heights at the mention of my eldest sibling. My brother Frederick was conscripted by the British to fight in the war. The war is over now. But where was my brother? If the news about the ending of the war had reached us, then surely he was on his way home. I shared a look with Maria. She might have been thinking the same thing. Aunt Valerie noticed us. and raised an eyebrow. "What are you girls thinking about?" she inquired, bringing the attention of the other people in the room to us. Our parents looked at us in an incredulous manner, waiting for an explanation. "Tell us, what is on your mind?" "We were thinking about her brother," I interjected before Maria could answer. "We were wondering if the war is over, why hasn't Frederick reached out to us? Is he on his way? Has something happened to Enough Child?" Father ordered. "Despite this horrible outcome, I am very confident that nothing has happened to him." There was a strange tone to his voice, one that suggested that he didn't believe what he was saying. It was small, but noticeable. He wasn't a man to second guess any of his orders or decisions. He had excellent judgment, so why was he so unsure now? "But how do you know that?" Maria asked, a very bold move by her, if I must be honest. Her voice was low and soft, but somehow strong at the same time. Father countered with, "Because he's a Thompson. He has to survive this war." Maria was unconvinced. I could see it in her expression, but she didn't dare to say anything else, lest he angered him. "Now let's—" He was interrupted by a sharp knock on the door. We all stared at each other with questioning looks. "Now, who would visit us this early in the morning?" Mother inquired, to no one in particular. Father rose from his seat and approached the door. We followed him excitedly, hoping that it was Frederick arriving back home. The knock came again, this time accompanied by a male voice. "This is the British Army." Maria and Mother froze. What business did the British Army have with us? Was this an update on Frederick? Father cautiously opened the door. The two men, donned with the traditional British red coat uniform, stood at our doorsteps. Their faces were incredibly solemn. One of them held a sheet of parchment in his hand. "Good morning. We trust that you are well," the man with the paper said. "Yes, sirs. Our morning has been satisfactory," my father answered for us. "We are from your son, Frederick Thompson's regiment. We regret to inform you that Lieutenant Thompson died in battle." The rest of their sentence was garbled in my ears. I could hear Maria faint, and the world began to spin around me.